Hey guys, this is Felix, and today we're going to talk about 3 real-life monster encounters that if multiple people weren't there to witness it, no one would believe it. I went through dozens and dozens of stories, trying to find the best ones for you. So if you guys could please hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. Now let's get into today's video. This is one of the most famous monsters ever documented. The Flatwood monster was seen by so many credible witnesses that the Air Force was forced to open up a project called Project Blue Book, where they sent dozens of investigators across the country to try to figure out this mystery. The incident that got this all started was in 1952 in Flatwoods, West Virginia. The May brothers and their 2 friends, Neil and Tommy, were playing in the lawn at their elementary school, when suddenly a bright light goes across the sky and appears to crash somewhere on the hillside. They decide to go check it out, and while they're heading that way, they stop at the May brothers' home to tell their mother Kathleen what they had seen. Kathleen, being cautious, brought one of the National Guardsmen, Eugene, and brings the family dog, Richie. When they arrived at the site, as they slowly approached, they saw a powerful, pulsing red light. Eugene shined his flashlight up the hill, and the group saw a terrifying sight. They saw a 10-foot-tall creature with a head shaped like a spade and what appeared to be a dark metal dress. The creature's hands were twisted and clawed, and its eyes glowed this eerie orange light. It was levitating off the ground, and a strange sickening mist was in the air. The monster hissed and glided towards the group. The group turned and ran as fast as they could. They literally ran for their lives. The group suffered from throat irritation, vomiting, and nausea in the following days. The very next day, about 5 miles away, a couple and their newborn were driving at night when suddenly their car died. While trying to restart their car, they started to smell a foul smell in the air, and the baby began to cry. When out of nowhere, a bright light started to flash in the sky. When they turned to see what it was, there was a 10-foot-tall creature hovering in front of their car. The description was exactly the same as the original sighting. The creature dragged its hands across the hood of the car and drifted away into the woods. As soon as the monster was out of sight, the car restarted, and the couple sped away from the scene, never looking back. New beginnings can be a beautiful thing. That can be exactly what somebody needs. But what if you choose the wrong town to live in? Well, that's exactly what happened to hunters and fishermen in a small town in Alaska. Portlock, also known as Port Chatham, was a small village in Alaska that was starting to grow into a good-sized town in the 1930s. Fishermen, hunters, and miners poured into town. It was starting to grow so much that the town even got a post office due to the sheer number of people moving in. But as great as everything appeared to be, this town had a huge secret that no one spoke about, but everyone knew. You see, hunters were disappearing and being murdered at an alarming rate. They would go into the forest to go hunting or mining and never be seen again. And if they were seen again, they were found completely butchered, as if a gigantic creature had clawed into them, torn them apart by something even bigger and stronger than a bear. You see, the Native Americans knew of a legendary creature, a monster that did not like all these new people moving in. The name of the creature was Nantinak. To add to legend, during that same time, there was a man named Tom Larson who lived in Portlock. While he was working on the beach, he saw the gigantic-looking bear ape. So Tom ran to go get his gun, and when he returned, that thing just stared at him. And Tom says that he went into a daze. And after a while, the creature simply just went back into the woods. The legend of Nantinak goes back hundreds of years. It was a Bigfoot-type creature that was not to be messed with. as more and more people kept going missing and being slaughtered, the locals all came together and decided that it would be best for everyone to leave the town. It had gotten too dangerous for anyone to live there, so that's exactly what they did. Everyone left, and the town became a ghost town. Till this day, people who have visited these parts of the woods have been haunted by this creature. There have been dozens of books written about this incident. These are some photos taken of what was once an up-and-coming village. Every single year, thousands of families go camping into the forest. They bring their barbecues and their tents. And at night, when it gets dark, they look into the woods. And it's either one of the most peaceful moments in their life, or it's one of the scariest. That's exactly what happened to the next person in our story. John is a young man, hanging out with his mom, grandparents, and his cousin in the woods of Siren, Wisconsin. They like to go visit a cabin that they have up there a few times a year, especially in the summer. But once it gets dark, the beautiful woods become an ocean of darkness. It creeps out John and his mom. They feel as if a set of eyes are watching them from the woods. The next day, John and his cousin are playing with BB guns, trying to hit one another. John has a camouflage outfit, so he thinks he'll be able to blend in deeper in the forest. So he retreats into it, and his cousin chases him down. While they're shooting it out, they're slowly getting deeper and deeper into the woods. John calls time out because he's starting to get winded. They take a break and are talking, when all of a sudden, the woods get really quiet. They think that maybe there's a large animal around, so they try to hide. John is looking around to see if there's anything, when all of a sudden he sees something white. So he tries to get a closer look, and then his heart drops to his stomach because he realizes that white is coming from teeth, large canine teeth. It was a gigantic creature with a massive jaw that looked like a mix between a werewolf and a bear. John looked at his cousin, and they both were thinking the same thing. They began to run. And while they're booking it, they can hear the creature right behind them, getting closer and closer. The creature is right on them, and once they clear the tree line, they ran towards the cabins, and the creature is no longer chasing them. John and his cousin both think that their grandparents would not believe them, so they both say it was a bear. Later on that night, he goes up to his mom and tells her the truth on what they saw. The mom looks at him with these sad eyes and whispers to John, "I've seen one too." The mom, years earlier, was driving in the same area when all of a sudden, that creature was standing in the middle of the street. She says the monster was big and moved with power. The creature looked at her and then immediately started to charge towards the car. She thought whatever that thing was pure evil, and she hit the pedal to the metal and drove off. A number of sights have been seen by witnesses around this area. They call it the Dog Man. And yeah, the name might be funny, but this creature is anything but. 3 different monsters in 3 different parts of the world, all credible witnesses. What exactly is going on in this strange little world of ours? Should we fear these creatures, or should we embrace them? I'm of the thought that these monsters always tell us more about ourselves than we'd like to think. The way we react to the unknown, the different, and the strange usually shows who the real monsters are. Thank you for watching. That's all for today, guys. If you guys have listened this far, follow and like this video. It's completely free. And a shout out to the Monster Squad. Thank you guys for your support. I will be doing a private group meeting later this week. Till next time, love you guys.